Hello and welcome to our October 11th TLDR on Dota news from the past 2 weeks as we were away at ESL last weekend. Now, ESL was our first major LAN after TI where we got to see some of the bigger teams in action for the first time. Team Secret did not disappoint, taking out Fnatic and CDEC for a smooth trip into the finals. They had fun signing with their fans afterwards, and Puppy stopped to take a lot of pictures. Virtus.pro fell in the first round against Invictus Gaming. IG were actually a last-minute replacement for eHome, who couldn't get visas in time. IG was missing one player and played with their coach standing in. They played well, but fell to Vega on day 2. Vega, the European qualifier team, made it all the way to the grand finals after demolishing EG 2-0 in the first round. Now, due to venue constraints, the finals were limited to a best of 3. Vega took game 1 with a terrifying Tiny IO combo. Secret rallied in game 2 with Weehaw on his signature Meepo in the mid lane. The final game started out in favor of Secret, with Misery Mirana able to get first blood on Mad Clockwork. Vega takes back control, quickly making the game 4-1. Secret refused to lay down, taking a beautiful fight by Dire Agents, trading the Weehaw TA for 4 of Vega. Secret finds a few more pickoffs before Vega responds. In traditional CIS Dota style, Vega groups up and runs at Secret, taking tier 1s and several teamfights. Vega continues their aggression, losing heroes but taking objectives. They barrel down the mid lane and take the melee racks, forcing buybacks from Secret just to get Vega out of the base. Secret takes Roche in the midst of a teamfight, but Weehaw dies twice and is left without buyback. 2 other Secret players fall in the Roche pit to Vega's aggression, and Vega is able to take a second lane of racks. After one last big fight at the top lane, Vega pushes in, wipes Team Secret, and are our ESL New York 2015 champions. Congratulations to Vega. ESL was a great tournament from our perspective. Viewing was easy and very comfortable, the crowd was super hyped, and the talent did an incredible job. Coddle Guy demonstrated his horrible throwing arm, Hopvid didn't disappoint with the saltiest gift ever to PPD, and I found the cosplay competition a lot of fun. Congrats again to Risk, Wicked, the Conti sisters, and the Techies duo for joining me in the top 5. I think it'd be interesting to see ESL run our first ever majors in Frankfurt. Now, speaking of the majors, in a few days, we'll know all of the teams attending. Invited teams, that we know now, are EG, second place TI finishers CDEC, and then for other teams, LGD, VG, our ESL winners Vega Squadron, Team Secret, Virtus.pro, and eHome. All other teams are left to either the main qualifiers that they were invited to, or run through the open qualifiers to even make it into mains. One of the qualifier invited teams, 5 Youngs, has been picked up by Team Liquid. I believe we've already seen a resurgence of Liquid are doing it, even if this is a European team rather than Liquid's standard NA sponsorship in Dota. Now, due to roster changes after that September 5th roster lock, Monkey Freedom Fighters, Team Empire, and High Council of Wizards and Priests all had to take the open qualifier route. And in a surprise turn of events, Archon, previously known as Team Fire, after being invited to the main qualifiers, kick 747, pick up Monkeys Forever, and have to take a run through opens. Each open qualifier had 2 rounds, where losers from round 1 could re-enter in round 2 for a second chance to qualify. In the Americas, HCWP and Boreal took the spots in the first qualifier. Archon was actually eliminated in the second qualifier to Team Dialcom in the round of 16, knocking them out of any shot at the majors this time around. 4Fats and Root took the remaining 2 slots into mains. In C, 4Hate and Space Created made it through the open brackets into the main qualifiers. In Europe, to no one's surprise, Team Empire won the first opens, and the second spot went to No Logic Gaming, whose notable players Ditya, Excalibur, and Nico you might recognize. DK and FTD Club B were the winners in China. Now, main qualifiers consist of each region playing in 2 separate groups, a Group A and a Group B. The top 2 from each group advance onto a double elim style bracket, where the winner of the winner's bracket and the winner of the loser's bracket both head to Frankfurt to compete for that $3 million prize up against the invited teams. Now, after day 1, Elite Wolves and HCWP lead the Americas bracket A, with Void Boys out completely. In bracket B, DC and Leviathan sit at the top. DC took a 2-0 def win against Boreal, who had a player who couldn't make the match time. In the China groups A, IG, Newbie Young, and DK are actually all tied for the top, with Group B having Newbie and CDEC Youth leading. C is finished with Fnatic and 123 moving on from Group A. But in Group B, Signature Trust, Vineski, and MVP Hot 6 are all tied for first place, so they'll have to play a tiebreaker to determine first and second. EU Group A finishes with Alliance and Liquid in the top 2, with Empire unable to advance. Group B finishes with Nip and Monkey Business in the top 2. Now, with all of these games going on for the Frankfurt Majors, a couple of hubs have formed to give us coverage. Covering games from all regions, the BTS hub will consist of all BTS talent, as well as special guests such as EG's manager Charlie Yang, up-and-coming caster Lyrical Dota, and somehow Greg Laird. Dream League's also hosting a hub in Sweden with a partnership between the GD Studios, Moonduck TV, and Join Dota. They'll be attempting to cover all European and Chinese qualifier games, with no casts of C or NA games planned. Now, in other news, esports sees what could be the next step in professionalizing the scene. A team union has been established between top organizations in Dota and CSGO. The union set conditions required for their teams to participate, such as mandatory LAN finals, minimum prize pool requirements, payout deadlines, travel support, accommodation standards, and many other things to ensure tournaments are treating players and organizations fairly and correctly. The teams promise media and promotion for the tournaments in exchange for these tournaments answering their demands. As of 2016, teams such as Na'Vi, NIP, Cloud9, TSM, Fnatic, Liquid, BP, and more will not be participating in tournaments that do not meet their demands. Now, there's been a lot of hate descending on this announcement, centered around players not entirely being informed about these decisions, and that a team union may be an organization interest but not necessarily good for the players. On the other hand, guaranteed payouts and good playing conditions seem like positive moves for players that they were probably consulted on beforehand for organizations to even know to ask for them. Decide for yourselves. As always, a link to the email that was sent out by the union to the organizers of tournaments is provided in the transcript. Alright, thanks again guys for watching this TLDR. We will see you next week.